Get ready for a shocker, folks. Jim Jones, the same guy laying down rhymes and dodging marriage like a pro, is now in a pair of shiny silver bracelets. And the reason behind this? Well, it's something you wouldn't see coming even if you had a crystal ball. All right, take a deep breath. We're talking about the same Jim Jones who's been out here flexing his lyrical prowess and skillfully avoiding tying the knot. Now, it seems his love life drama has spiraled into a whole new realm of toxicity. The gossip mills are churning out tales of Jim losing his cool on Chrissy Lampkin. And by losing his cool, I don't just mean a minor argument about who left the toothpaste cap off. We're talking about a full-on 911 dialing, police arriving, handcuff clinking chaos. Wait a minute. Wasn't Chrissy the one who proposed to him? What on earth is happening here? Why is the internet buzzing with this news? Well, sit back and grab some popcorn because this story is hotter than a kettle. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, the reality TV couple that has kept fans glued to their screens for over a decade, are now the focus of a scandal that could send tremors through the entire entertainment industry. Yes, you read that right. Jim Jones was put in bracelets for allegedly assaulting Chrissy Lampkin. This isn't just some baseless chit-chat. Witnesses, police reports, and even insiders are singing the same song. This could be the last straw in their tumultuous relationship that has seen more ups and downs than a roller coaster. Now, if you have been following their whirlwind romance, you already know they've tasted their fair share of drama. From Chrissy popping the question to Jim because he wouldn't commit, to their fiery arguments on reality TV, this relationship has been anything but smooth sailing. So what's the scoop this time? Let's dissect it step by step. It all kicked off with a major disagreement that spiraled out of control. Reliable sources claim Jim and Chrissy had been at odds for days over something significant. Initially, folks thought it was just another typical blowout, but this one was different. Neighbors reported hearing loud arguments, shattering glass, and slamming doors like some full-blown movie drama was unfolding right next door. And guess what? It wasn't just a war of words. Sources say things got physical. Some reports claim Chrissy was the one tossing things around, but Jim, he escalated it further. According to the police report, when officers arrived at the scene, Chrissy was visibly upset, and Jim was agitated and refusing to cooperate. Now, this isn't Jim's first brush with the law. We've seen his name pop up in legal troubles before, but this incident might be the worst one yet. So what was the trigger for this fight? Because let's face it, people don't just lose it out of the blue. It appears it all boils down to something Jim has been grappling with for years: money. Jim loves to show off. We're talking about a guy who lives a luxurious life, splurging on designer clothes, flashy accessories, and high-end cars. But here's the kicker: his financial status isn't as stable as he wants everyone to believe. And Chrissy? Well, she's had enough. Insiders close to the couple claim Chrissy has been keeping things afloat for years, ensuring their bills are paid while Jim maintains his rapper lifestyle. This time, she finally lost it and confronted him about his financial irresponsibility. "Where's the money going, Jim?" Chrissy allegedly shouted during the argument, and Jim, he didn't take kindly to it. Now, this isn't the first time Chrissy has had issues with Jim's financial habits. A few years back, she was pushing him to be more responsible, invest in their future, and stop squandering money. And Jim, well, he just kept doing things his way. But this time, things were different. When the cops arrived, they weren't prepared for this level of mayhem. According to eyewitnesses, Jim refused to calm down. Officers tried their best to defuse the situation, but Jim wasn't having any of it. One officer reportedly asked Jim to step outside to sort things out, but Jim lost his cool, yelling that they had no right to be in his house. And Chrissy? She was standing there, shell-shocked. She never expected things to escalate this far. Now, here's the wild part. Chrissy didn't even dial 911. It was the neighbors who reported the ruckus because they were worried something serious was going down. So what's next? Jim gets arrested. This is where things start to get really messy. The police reportedly tried to give Jim a chance to calm down, but when he kept resisting, they had no option but to slap on the cuffs. Let's talk about the mugshot moment, because you know, the internet is going to have a blast with this one. Jim Jones, the guy who's always boasting about being invincible, sitting there in a police station trying to figure out how he landed himself in this mess. But here's the real question. What does this mean for Chrissy? After years and years of tolerating Jim's nonsense, is this the final straw? The internet is already split. Some people are saying Chrissy needs to ditch this guy, asserting that he's never going to change. Others believe she's going to stick it out because she stood by him through worse. Let's face the reality. Jim is now in legal hot water, and depending on the severity of the charges, this could have major repercussions on his career. Now, remember how I mentioned that skeletons were starting to creep out of Jim's closet? Well, it seems that the internet, with its elephantine memory, has started to dig up past allegations, past legal troubles, and even rumors about Jim's behavior behind closed doors. A few years back, there were murmurs about Jim and his fiery temper. Some folks claimed he had a history of going on the offensive when things didn't swing his way. And now, those same folks are resurfacing, saying, "See, we told you this wasn't new." But here's what's interesting. This story's no longer just about Jim and Chrissy. Other celebrities are jumping into the fray, picking sides and throwing their 2 cents into the mix. Some are defending Jim, claiming the media is exaggerating the situation, while others claim this is yet another instance of a toxic man in the industry being unveiled. And here's what's really got folks talking. Some of Jim's own pals, those who were once in his inner circle, are staying mum. And you know what they say, silence speaks volumes. Now let's shift gears and talk about the legal aspect of this situation, because it's about to get gnarly. Since the police are pressing ahead with the case, Jim is going to need some heavy-duty legal representation. Depending on the gravity of the charges, he could be facing some serious consequences. Best case scenario, he gets slapped with a fine and probation. Worst case, he could be looking at some real jail time. And let's get real, Jim is not cut out for that life. Now, if you recall, Jim's had his fair share of legal troubles, but he's always managed to wriggle his way out. But this time, it might not be that simple. In the current climate, there's zero tolerance for such cases. If the district attorney decides to use him as an example, things could get really ugly. So, the million-dollar question is, how does Jim get out of this predicament? Can he even fix this? And more importantly, does Chrissy even want to help him anymore? Because let's face it, she's been picking up after his mess for years, but this might be the final straw. So what's next? Is Jim on the brink of losing everything? Is Chrissy finally about to walk away? And most importantly, is this the end of the line for Jim Jones as we know him? Because right now, things are looking pretty grim. But hold on, there's more to this story. Just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, some fresh intel has just dropped. And trust me, you're not gonna believe what's coming next. So when we last left off, Jim was cooling his heels in jail, Chrissy was eerily silent, and the whole industry was waiting with bated breath to see what would happen next. But now, some game-changing information just dropped, and it might be the last straw for Jim. Because guess what? Chrissy is done. Yes, you heard that right. After years of standing by this man, years of waiting for a wedding that never materialized, years of dealing with drama, Chrissy is finally walking away. Insiders close to her are saying that this was her breaking point. She's tired of picking up after his messes, tired of fighting the same battles repeatedly, and most of all, she's tired of looking like a fool in the public eye. And this isn't just a cooling off period. Chrissy is making some significant moves behind the scenes. According to reports, she's already been talking to her lawyers about separating her finances from Jim's. That's a big deal because remember, these two might not be married, but they've got a lot of business ties together. So if Chrissy is safeguarding her money, that means she's truly done. But here's the wildest part. She's not just walking away from Jim, she's walking away from everything. Sources say Chrissy is planning to leave New York for good. She's looking at houses in Miami, she's been reaching out to real estate agents, and she's already planning her next chapter without Jim. Now, let's talk about what this means for Jim. For years, she's been the one grounding him, the one ensuring he didn't spiral out of control. And now that she's gone, Jim is about to see just how much he really needed her. But wait, this story is far from over. While Jim is dealing with all this personal drama, his legal problems just got even worse. Remember how the police were already pressing ahead with the case? Well, now they've upgraded the charges. At first, he was looking at a simple domestic dispute charge, but now he's facing felony charges. This upgrade is due to the emergence of new evidence that's made prosecutors take this case much more seriously. Now, they haven't divulged exactly what that evidence is, but some people are saying that surveillance footage from their house might have captured the entire fight on camera. And if that's true, if there's video proof, Jim is in deep water. And it gets worse, because now a judge has officially placed a restraining order against Jim. That means he can't go anywhere near Chrissy, can't contact her, can't even attempt to smooth things over, and if he does, he could be facing even more jail time. But let's talk about the industry side of this, because folks are jumping ship. Remember how I said some of Jim's own people were staying quiet? Well, now they're actively distancing themselves. Some of his longtime friends and business partners are slowly backing away, unfollowing him on social media and pretending like they never even knew him.